Hello everyone, glad to meet you in another video. Today's video is about your investment options, how you can avail of finance for your business. It's not just for sari business, but you can you can do this for a lot of other businesses. So I'm just going to give you a few ways which some of you might have heard of and some of you may not have heard of. So the first option for investment is with whatever little you have, right? So if we have around 10,000 with us, or some jewelry or some investment, we make that as, we can invest that as a business, which we all know. Second thing is to opt for a bank loan. So in bank loan, you have the secured bank loan, the unsecured bank loan. So in a secured bank loan, you give a collateral. Unsecured, you don't give a collateral. And you have loans like working capital and a lot many things. So in order to get a bank loan, you should have your business registered. I strongly suggest that if you are serious about starting a business, please get it registered. It doesn't necessarily have to be a private limited. You can go for a proprietorship, but get it registered. Get your GST. So when you have all this, it shows that you're really serious about your business. But again, you have a lot of things to consider, like your credit score, or if your documents are good, or if you have been running a business for quite some time, they would look into your income tax for the last 2 or 3 years, and then all these things are taken into consideration. And again, when it comes to bank loan, please look into the options. A lot of government schemes, a lot of government, something like SIDBI or NABARD, all these are private institutions which is run through the government funds. So when you go through the government, what happens is you get your interest rate is very less. You may even get a subsidy and a lot other benefits that come with it. So please look into it, go into their websites. You can look out for options, the kind of schemes that is available. If possible, just visit these government firms and try to find out what are the options. There are a lot of schemes that is exclusive for women, exclusive for SC, ST category. So make use of this. Many are not even aware of, the such and so exists. So in order to know, nobody is going to come and stand in front of you and tell, see, this is a scheme, go for it. You have to go and approach these firms and these banks and all to get to know like what is available. And the next form, so these are the kind of ways that you've heard of. Now, there are certain things that you may not heard of, or you must be thinking it's like Greek and Latin to you. So the first thing what I'm going to talk about is crowdfunding. Just to keep it a little simple, there was this person who wanted just $10 for a potato salad recipe. I'm sorry, I'm not able to remember his name. Nevertheless, he made an appeal on a global platform. So basically crowdfunding, you do it mostly via social media. So he did an appeal on a global platform, and instead of, he just wanted $10, but he got $55,000. So that's because his idea was interesting. And you must have also seen on your Facebook scrolls, sometimes you would suddenly have some I think crowdfunding sites like Impact Guru, where a person is really sick, or where a little kid, is suffering from cancer. So all this is very emotional. So what you would do, you would contribute 100, 500, whatever possible. You contribute, you don't expect that money in return. You just do it out of goodwill because you want to do it. So this is basically crowdfunding. A person needs money, he pitches his idea, and there are a lot of people, a lot of groups who would love to contribute. Whoever's interested, they would like to contribute. In crowdfunding itself, you have options like donation-based crowdfunding, like what I told you. People donate, not expecting anything in return. And you have other forms like equity-based crowdfunding, reward-based crowdfunding. So as the name suggests, a reward-based crowdfunding will be like a person would expect something in return. Assume you're doing something like a video game, and so once you're done with your video games, what you would do is you would provide the investor with an advanced copy of your video games. You're just giving the investor a reward in return. And again, equity based is like the name suggests, they would expect a return like a stock market kind of thing, something from your shares, from your equities. So you have different forms of crowdfunding. So if you're really in short of money, and if you have a great idea, you can go for something called crowdfunding. You pitch your idea must be interesting enough. Only if your idea is interesting enough, people will want to invest in your growth, in your idea. Yeah. So this is one option that you can really consider. Yeah. And just because we haven't heard of these terms, or we're not familiar with these terms, we don't really look into it, like what exactly is this. Yeah. So please opt for these, go for these. Angel investing. What are angel investors? So angel investors is someone, or assume, I'm again trying to be as simple as possible. Assume I'm an angel investor and you are doing a business. So I would like to invest in yours. So angel investor doesn't necessarily have to be like a huge sum. It can be very few thousand. Assume I have around 50,000 rupees. I don't want to put it in the bank. I get a very less return in my fixed deposit or RD or whatsoever. So I would like to invest in startups so that I get a better return. If I have to get a very small percentage of return, I'd rather keep it in the bank so that my money is safe. But I invest in your startup because I want to get a huge return. So angel investors usually expect around 25% at least in return. Now why? Because you're taking a risk. That's because if your company doesn't go well, I lose my money. So angel investors are taking a big risk. Yeah, they invest in startup, they love to invest in startup, but they are taking a risk, but they would also want huge returns. So you must be able to give them huge returns. Like there are a lot of you take WhatsApp or even Facebook for that matter, they've all started with angel investors and now they've grown to a huge level. So angel investing is also something that you can consider. Angel investors can be in the form of family or friends. By default, our parents become our angel investors. You need some money, like 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, they give to us. They don't expect anything in return. Yeah. But you want to go outside that group, like you want to, there would be doctors, employees, professionals, a lot of people who are angel investors. So when you just leave that circle and go into the next circle, they are the people who would expect something in return. Of course, they are taking a risk, but because they're taking a risk, they expect a huge percentage as their return. So these are angel investors. And the final thing is the venture capitalists, which I don't suggest for the startups. Venture capitalists are people, just to give you an idea, they would like to invest in companies that have huge growth opportunities. They are people who would like to invest huge amount and they would like to be on board for at least 7-8 years. But there are a lot of risk involved in it because they would literally involve in every decision making of your business. Because they're investing a huge sum, they would like to take part in all the decision making process so that they don't lose out their money. They would also have a board member in your firm. Yeah. And there are a lot of rules and regulations, and it's a little difficult for the startup to cope up with VC's rules and regulations. So it's best that you take up a venture capitalist offer. It's not very easy that you get an offer from a venture capitalist, very difficult. But if yes, maybe after a period of time, after a couple of years, by then you would know what venture capitalists are and how you can deal with people with their rules and all. So then you can opt for a venture capitalist. But for the start, you could go in case you don't have your investment or you don't want to use up your investment, or if bank loan is also something that you would not really want to get into, you could try crowdfunding and angel investing. Just because we haven't heard of these terms, just because bank loan is something we hear it every now and then, we think that is appropriate, which is so much more better. Because we haven't heard of crowdfunding, angel investing and things like that, what happens is We think all these are like Greek and Latin, and we really don't get into it. But you can make use of these options. If your idea is really great, if your idea is interesting, if it's innovative, put it in the global platform. There's nothing like a social media where it reaches a huge number of people. If anybody is interested, they would definitely pitch in, and for your whatever your idea is. And I strongly suggest, if you have a strong idea in mind, don't just keep it at the back. Just go ahead, start, do it, go forward. Yeah, look into all these options. Look into the options. There are many startups like like I told you, WhatsApp and even Flipkart for that matter, all have started from these very small level, like the angel investors. Even for that matter, Bill Gates. I think he had a person named Mr. Dave who had contributed, who was in the form of a venture capitalist or an angel investor. So Bill Gates himself has said that it's just because of Mr. Dave, the company has grown to such a huge level. He was in the firm for like 30 solid years, for more than 30 years, and he'd been a major reason for their growth. Yeah. So, the angel investors, they are generally professionals who have already experienced in a certain field. They've already been entrepreneurs, or they know a very good, they are quite knowledgeable in what they do. So they could prove useful for your business, for your growth. They could be a mentor for your growth. Yeah. So please look into these options like crowdfunding, like angel investing, venture capitalist on a later stage. And even when it comes to bank loans, please look into the schemes, the government schemes. Go into the websites like Sydney, NABARD. If you want, I'll just put the link and their websites on the comment box. So please go into those websites and look out for options, look out for schemes that you can really apply into. So I trust this video is definitely of some help. So if you found this video useful, please, I would love to know your comments, and what other videos you would want me to make. You could just give me a hint of that, and I'll try my best to make a video on it. Yeah. Thank you so much.